Hello all and welcome to The Big Story, a daily news show where we talk about the hottest topics of today right in the heart of the newsroom. I'm Kimberly Jiao coming to you live from the Straits Times, and we are streaming on YouTube and Facebook, so do leave us a comment, like and share it with your friends, as well as hit the bell to be told whenever we go live. I'll be joined by a couple of my newsroom colleagues today to discuss what got you talking today. Our top story: videos which showed a man resembling Malaysia's Economic Affairs Minister Azmin Ali and an aide to a deputy minister engaged in sexual acts has surfaced in a targeted leak to journalists on Tuesday. With me to discuss this is Assistant Foreign Editor Eileen. Hello.
Hi.
So could you give us a lowdown on this saga so far and how did the events unfold?
Okay, first I just want to inform our viewers out there that if they're watching the video clips which have been circulating on social media, the authenticity of the videos have not been verified.
Okay.
And Economic Affairs Minister Azmin Ali has denied the allegations that he's the one who's appearing in the videos. On top of that, Malaysia's internet regulator has warned viewers, internet users, that if they spread pornographic content, they could be fined as well as jailed for a certain amount of time. Having said that, what happened in this story is that these video clips apparently showing two men on a bed engaging in sexual acts. They were spread on a WhatsApp group chat and on Tuesday morning. And what happened subsequently the following day is that an aide to a deputy minister, who's known as Mr. Muhammad Haziq Abdul Aziz, confessed on Facebook that he was the one who was in the video together with Datuk Sri Azmin.
Right. So implicating him? Implicating
Datuk Sri Azmin. He's also accused Mr. Azmin of corruption.
Right.
Both the men are from the same party. They're both from Parti Keadilan Rakyat, which is PKR.
Right. So in response to this whole affair happening, let's see how Azmin responded to this.
Quote, "I categorically deny this vicious libel upon me. This is nothing but a nefarious plot to assassinate my character in an attempt to destroy my political career," unquote. Azmin condemned gutter politics, which he said had no place in an era of new Malaysia, since Pakatan Harapan took power in May last year to rebuild Malaysia and carry out institutional reforms. He said he had instructed his lawyers to take legal action and avail himself of all means to expose the culprits.
So what were the responses on this? How did his party members react?
This is an explosive revelation for sure, because the video clips are very graphic,
right,
and it appears to involve someone who is a rising star, someone who could be a future Prime Minister of Malaysia. Also, don't forget, homosexuality is frowned upon in Malay Muslim dominant Malaysia. Oral sex as well as sodomy are illegal under the secular laws. But overall, there was also a sense of deja vu. There were a lot of sighs of here we go again, a lot of eye rolling, because don't forget, Malaysia has had similar political sex scandals in 1998 as well as in 2008 relating to Datuk Sri Anwar Ibrahim, who is at the moment PM in waiting. Datuk Sri Anwar has always said that the charges against him were politically motivated, and I think a similar stand is being taken by his party to defend Datuk Sri Azmin at the moment. So they have closed ranks, and they have called this brand of gutter politics deplorable and sickening. Mr. Azmin has filed reports with the police as well as with the religious authorities for them to investigate further. Meanwhile, the 93-year-old Prime Minister has said that he thinks the video is fake, and he said that maybe even he could feature in this kind of production one day.
So what do you think the political ramifications of this is?
As of now, we don't know who leaked the video. It could be people from the opposition, the UMNO party, for example. But more and more political observers are hinting that this could be actually released by rival factions within PKR itself. So there's allegedly a rival faction, one led by Prime Minister in waiting, Anwar Ibrahim, and the other one led by Azmin Ali, who's been implicated in this. Either way, the scandal will badly affect the ruling coalition. First off, they'll be distracted from governing because they'll be busy firefighting this news. Or if it's true that it's rival factions fighting, they will be busy politicking amongst themselves.
So
infighting. Second of all, bringing back the whole Malay Muslim demographic. This is a demographic of voters that Pakatan Harapan, the ruling coalition, really needs to win over. This kind of scandal, when you're talking about homosexual sex especially, and with, again, as I explained before, with the videos being extremely graphic, it turns off the voters when they think their leaders could be engaging in this sort of thing. Also, if it's true that the video clips were released by PKR members themselves, then they would be seen as hypocrites because this was the kind of smear tactic that was used to keep Anwar Ibrahim out of power for so long. Now they are finally back in power, and it would show that they are not above descending to such depths. I think also for the opposition, they are very keen to point out that the Pakatan Harapan government may be just another political party who is willing to do anything to win power, the same way they were criticized before. So this will be a real test for the government institutions under the current government. We're talking about the Anti-Graft Commission, because don't forget Azmin is also being accused of corruption. We're talking about the Attorneys General's chambers, whether any charges will be brought. We're also talking about the police. Are they going to investigate this fairly?
Right. So what's next, do you think, in this ongoing saga?
Oh, there's definitely a lot more to come. I think former Prime Minister Najib Razak, who himself is in trouble, he's facing court cases for corruption currently. He very cheekily posted on his Facebook on Tuesday night a picture of Michael Jackson, the late Michael Jackson, munching popcorn and grinning. So meaning, settle down, there's a lot more to come. From what we gather, there are hints that there are more videos to come. Mr. Haziq himself today has revealed that his alleged affair with Mr. Azmin goes back 3 years.
Okay.
So this, again, very salacious, more explosive stuff coming out. So I would say Game of Thrones has ended on TV. So this is what you should watch next. The Malaysian edition, brought to you by our team in Kuala Lumpur.
And from that team in Kuala Lumpur, if you would like to follow that team in Kuala Lumpur and their reports, do tune in to www.straitstimes.com to follow up with this developing story. Thanks, Eileen, for coming on.
Thanks.
Our next story, Singaporean John Lowe's boat sank and he found himself drifting aimlessly on a ring buoy from Malaysian waters to the South China Sea. My apologies. He drifted in the sea for 4 days before he was eventually rescued by crew members of the dredging vessel en route from Nantong, China to Singapore. With me today to discuss this story is ST journalist Vana. Welcome to the show. All right, so you've interviewed John himself. So could you tell us a bit more about what it was like speaking to him and his experience at sea?
I think before I interviewed him, I thought that he would be very nervous and traumatized because of his 4-day ordeal in the water.
Right.
He didn't even have a raft on him. It was just him and the lifebuoy. But the thing is that he had so much positive energy with him. And one of the reasons he had that energy that he told me was because of his strong Christian faith. He's a charismatic Christian, and he said that when he fell into the water and looked up in the sky the first time, he saw 20 blinking lights. He saw a vision of 20 blinking lights, and during the following 3 nights, the blinking lights actually appeared in front of his eyes. So I guess it's a form of his faith and his belief that he was going to be saved, and it kind of was a way. It helped him, give him a sense of direction, and also reassure him that help is going to be on the way, and that made him really resilient and able to continue staying alive for the next 4 days.
What was his opinion about this whole saga, this whole situation? What did he feel like it was like? I think before the show you told me he thought it was somewhat like a video game.
Yeah, so when I was interviewing him that day, he was actually in a video game cafe. So drawing from that inspiration, he told me that being rescued after that 4 days made him realize that this could be his second chance at life, just like a video game where he has a second life. And that's why he says that right now with this second life, he wants to make better the wrongs and treat some of the peoples he might have not have treated well in the past, treat them better and treat his loved ones better as well. So I think what he would like to do is with this second chance at life, he would like to live it better and really
do more good
for him. Yeah.
So with this, let's give the viewers a little bit of context about what happened to him. So what was his experience like? What did he tell you was his struggles in the ocean?
So his biggest struggle was really thirst. He did not have any water or food on him because when he fell into the ocean, he only had his lifebuoy watch and his backpack that only contained his IC and passport. Right. So he suffered from extreme thirst and he tried to drink the seawater, but that didn't do well with his body and he started vomiting. And because of vomiting, he felt his clothes felt really uncomfortable on him and he had to remove his clothes. So for the next 2 nights at sea, he didn't have any clothes on him.
Oh dear.
Yes. And secondly, if you see the picture of him on that he has on his Facebook page in the hospital, he was extremely severely sunburned.
Yes.
And so he had the second challenge he faced was sunburn. His skin was charred. His facial skin was charred and cracked. So every hour, what he would do is that he would dip his face into the sea, but since his face was cracked, the salt water actually stung. So in a way, he didn't really have any way of soothing himself, but he just decided to try to draw some comfort from the water, although it was salt water that stung him as well. And thirdly, he was also tormented by, in the night especially, he was tormented by marine animals floating around, swimming around him. So at one point he told me that he felt a big fin brushing up his legs.
Oh gosh.
And because he's a diving enthusiast that's been diving for many years, he believed that it could be a shark and he was really afraid at that point. So he was just praying and staying still and hoping so hard that he wouldn't lose his legs during the 4-day journey.
Oh dear. So that sounds like a very harrowing experience. So how did he survive mentally?
He was very positive. Like I said, his religion kept him going. And secondly, he tried to remove all the negative energy and just keep on thinking about the positive energy. He kept thinking about his family members. And one light-hearted aspect is that he only had his lifebuoy and his watch with him. So he started to personify and humanize his lifebuoy and watch. So he called his lifebuoy boy and his watch my brother, and he spoke to them, chatted with them while he was in the sea.
Wow.
Yeah.
So could you tell us more about one of his rescuers? Because he was picked up by this sort of massive boat, right? So there's a captain called Captain Cornelius Plug. Could you tell us more about that?
Okay, he is the captain of the ship, but the first person who actually spotted him in the ocean 1 kilometer away was actually the ship's first officer. His name is Sredden Basden, and he first saw an orange object floating, and when they got closer, they realized it was a body. At first they thought it could be a dead body, but when the ship got closer, John Lowe actually lifted up his hand, and they were really surprised that there was someone alive in the ocean who looked more dead than alive, actually. So what happened after that is that within 20 minutes, because they were so well prepared in their rescue efforts, they actually brought him onto the ship and wheeled him into a cabin. And the captain, Captain Cornelius, actually called up many of the Coast Guards and authorities from Singapore, Indonesia and Malaysia, but it was actually the Singapore's Maritime Rescue Coordination Centre that responded well. But he did not have any, John Lowe did not have any IC with him, identity card. So the MRCC was trying to prove his whether he was a Singaporean, find his address. So
find out who he is.
There was a bit of back and forth via email and satellite phone that took about a couple of hours.
Ooh, okay.
So at 8 p.m., because he was found at 4:30 p.m.,
long
the
time.
captain was really worried for his health, and he actually sent an email to MRCC saying that I actually rescued him in the boat, not for him to die on the ship. So at 8 o'clock, the MRCC deployed the RSAF Rescue 10 Search and Rescue Team, and at 9:30 a.m. they came over and picked him up and sent him to Singapore General Hospital.
Wow, that is a journey. We hope that Ms. Loh is currently doing well.
Yes, he is. And later this month, he's actually going to Batam to visit the ship and the captain and the
he's going
first
back.
officer, yes, to thank them.
I see. Oh,
Yes.
that's very sweet. Well, we hope that, again, he does well and he fares well on that journey as well. So thanks for sharing more about his inspiring story.
Thank you.
And those two were our top stories of the day. And once again, I'm Kimberly Jiao. Thank you for watching The Big Story, and we'll see you tomorrow.